I've learned off a lot of different captains, so I'd like to say that I'm maybe a blend of everything now. But yeah, it's a special feeling leading Chelsea into European nights. It's just different under the lights of Stamford Bridge. It just feels different. There's a different aura around it.
Hello and welcome to We Are Chelsea, a podcast brought to you by the Chelsea women's football team. The Blues are through to the Champions League semi-final after an aggregate win over Ajax of 4-1. Here to dissect all the action with me and to look ahead to the Conti Cup Final this weekend against Arsenal, it's midfielder and current Chelsea captain Erin Cuthbert. Welcome to We Are Chelsea. Hello Erin, how are you? Nice to have you back on.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me back. I feel better after being in the semi-finals of the Champions League.
I know. I mean, the last time I saw you, it was all Iron Brewgate. This time, actually, let me quickly check. Has Guru been converted with Iron Brew?
Slowly but surely. We're getting there. We're getting there.
Well, Erin, let's get straight into last night. Talk me through the match. I mean, I have to say, though, when you're 3-0 up going into a home tie, did you feel confidence? What was the message from Emma?
Yeah, I think there's certainly a lot of confidence going into the game, knowing you're 3-0 up, because you know that you can score those goals again at home. I think the message from Emma was the tie is 0-0. Like, it's important that we approach the game like it's 0-0 because they're going to come at us and we have to be prepared for that. And they did last night.
How helpful do you think it is to have that much squad depth? Because there was so many players that didn't play and were resting, but it didn't seem to affect the team.
Yeah, no, it really didn't. And I think that's the beauty of the beast that Emma's created. We're all pushing each other in training every day, and it doesn't matter who Emma puts out. She trusts that they're going to do a job and they're expected to do a job for the team.
You're fighting for 4 trophies, or you're fighting for trophies on all 4 fronts, and also suffering from some of your key players being injured. How does that affect the team's mentality? How does that affect prep?
Yeah, I think we just need to accept it, and I think Emma said, like, it's really sad, but I think we have to deal with the players that are here. You know, we'd much rather have everyone and be at full strength. We certainly know that the quality that we've lost, having missed them, but we have to keep moving forward. That is the sport, and that's why it's a team game, and that's why we have such a big squad that Emma's created.
And Maya Ramirez made her Champions League debut and got her goal as well. Talk us through the goal. Talk us through Guru's assist and a great challenge from you to tee her up.
You know, first of all, like, Myra's been causing havoc, I think, since she arrived at the club. She's so enjoyable to watch. Defenders don't know how to deal with her. She can spin you, she can run in behind, she can play her back to goal. And I think it's, you know, she really offers something different, and it's so exciting to play with her. I just remember, like, we had a tactic. I'm not going to give everything away, but we wanted to sort of press them in certain areas. And I was really, really high up the pitch. We've stepped in with our striker, which is great and exactly what we wanted to do. But we want the midfield to double down and come and help for the second balls. And, you know, I've got myself in there, got a sliding tackle, and, you know, I'm trying to make 50-50s, like, more in my favour. And yeah, Guru's picked up the second ball, little loose ball that I've kind of created and slotted in Myra really well. And I think I was still getting up off the floor when Myra actually scored. But, you know, brilliant goal, brilliant to get her first Champions League goal. I'm sure that'll give her a bit of confidence moving forward.
Absolutely. How well do you think she's been settling in since joining in January?
I think she's been really good, to be honest. You know, she's took everything on her stride. Nothing really phases her, which I think is a great attribute to having a player, especially somebody who doesn't speak the language. Everything is completely new for her. But I think the beauty is that, you know, Emma speaks Spanish, Hannah speaks Spanish, I speak un poco Spanish. And, you know, she can communicate with us because it's hard. Like, you go to the training ground and you maybe you only speak to 2 people completely in your day, which is a, you know, it's a foreign concept to us who have English as our first language. So I think just trying to make her feel at home as possible is really important. And, she's shown on the pitch that, absolutely nothing phases her.
You touched earlier on tactics. We don't need to go too in depth, but how did you guys set up from a tactical point of view, and what were, I guess, the challenges that Ajax posed across both legs?
Yeah, I think they were really, really good ball playing players. I think I think it is a sort of Ajax identity, men and women, to sort of play out from the back. They've got a lot of players through their ranks, young players as well who showed up last night. I think we wanted to press them high from dead balls. I don't think that's any secret. And they were really good at sort of playing over us, finding the space, and that's why, I think the midfield coming down for second balls was really, really important. And, when we got that goal, that was kind of everything that we had worked on. We went 1v1 all over the pitch, and I think in Europe you see more and more of that, maybe not so much in the WSL. So it is all about adapting. It's all about sort of finding new ways to win, and finding out where you can hurt people, and also realising where your weaknesses are and where you can be hurt, because everyone has their weaknesses, but as long as you identify them and you've got your eyes open to them, then you're halfway there. Now, for you, you were named player of the match last night. How happy are you with your form and role in the team at the moment? Yeah, I'm in a good place. I feel like, I've said this before, I feel like the business end of the season brings out a different animal in me a little bit. I really enjoy playing in the big games. I enjoy the pressure. Like, I thrive under the pressure, but not that I can not do it any other time in the season, but I just feel like this brings out a different side of me. I'm enjoying sort of the leadership role as well, learning on the job every day. Nice that I've got Niamh by my side, and of course Millie and Sam are still highly present. So it's nice to have them around. It's a good mix. I'm enjoying where I'm at, but like I say, I've won nothing, we've won nothing, and all I care about is the team. So team's won nothing so far, and it's all about going that step further now. You touched on the captaincy. Do you think it's changed you in a way, stepping up and taking on that role? I don't think it's changed me. I don't think it's changed my behaviours or my actions at all. I do think that I have to be more aware, because everybody looks to the captain as to what they're doing. Everybody looks for a bit of direction and a bit of leadership, and I have to be the one to provide that now, maybe more so. So that's a bit of a different role for me, and I think my actions are contagious. I think it's no secret that my actions are kind of led by what I do on the pitch, and it's nice that I've kind of complemented quite well with how Niamh deals with everything off the pitch. It's sort of been a perfect little mix so far. Well, you obviously played away in Amsterdam last week, and we've had some questions from the listeners. So Sophie Hudd wants to know, what is it like travelling away for a European game and playing in front of a European crowd? I love playing in Europe. It's so exciting. I know it sounds so daft of me, but just a little girl flying across Europe to play in a game of football was just unheard of for me. So I never get tired of that little excited feeling of travelling away with my team. I love playing in European games. The atmosphere away when you travel is super hostile, and as a player I proper thrive under that. I enjoy it. It's really, I proper enjoy it. It's an absolute pleasure, and I think when you play and everybody's booing you, there's a certain feeling of wanting just to prove people wrong, and for me that's super enjoyable, and I think that's when the team sort of come into each other. Everything that we've worked on in training, it matters more than ever, because you can't actually hear each other or speak to each other. So I really enjoy that part. Oh, I love that. I don't know if a crowd of 32,000 booing me would would spur me on, but I'm glad it does for you. It certainly does. Bring it on. Laura Green is asking, who always likes to sit next to each other on the coach or the plane? I sit next to Guro on the plane every time, without fail. I think every trip since she's pretty much been at the club, we have our seats. We actually have to sit at a certain seat on the plane as well, every single time. Oh, really? Yeah, we're on on the exit row, which is funny because we both have the smallest legs in the team. But I will be taking that exit row. But yeah, I think everybody sits next to sort of their mate, if you like. Everyone has certain allocated seats, which is quite fun. And, you know, we've made it a bit of a kind of superstition that we sit together and got to sit at the exit row.
I love that. And what if someone sits in your seat on the coach?
It's not happening.
What happens?
No one's sitting in my seat. No one is sitting in my seat on the coach. Everybody knows that's Erin's seat. It's basically got my name etched in the leather. Like, nobody would dare. And if they would, they'd be getting shafted. But yeah, I sit at the same place. I think since I've been 8 years probably, I've sat in the same seat. So that's how much it means to me.
Oh my God, I love it. Who's the best and who's the worst traveller?
Best traveller? Oh, good question. I know who the worst is, and it's Guro. Like, by a country mile, the girl is an absolutely shocking traveller, especially on a plane. Not on a plane, because it's hilarious to see, but it's quite sad because how scared she is. Got a bit of a phobia of flying. She's got her head down. She's squeezing my arm every time we take off. She's got the headphones in as loud as possible. She can't even look. Like, she's terrified. And it's so weird seeing her like that. Aww. And, you know, I have to give her a little tap when we get up to know that it's safe to, like, come back up to your seat again. So, yeah, wow. She's terrified of travelling on a plane. But I don't know where that's came from, but I'm there to make her feel better. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I'm laughing, but I think it might be the way you're telling it. But it's obviously very serious for her, bless her. I just can't imagine it. I think it's that.
Yeah, I mean, bless her, but also, like, you've been on how many flights and you've been safe, so it's all right. But I can imagine what having a phobia must feel like at that, especially when you're so high up in the air. But I make her feel better. She squeezes my hand so tight, she almost breaks my wrist every time.
Well, at least she's got Erin next to her. And who is the best traveller?
Best traveller, that's difficult to say. There's so many people that are just so used to travelling in the team. Like, they're so chill. Everyone's got, like, maybe, like, Yelena, maybe say Yelena. I don't really hear much from her, so she just kind of goes about her own business. She's got the recovery sleeves on, the tights, like, she's got everything packed, prepared, organised. And that's how she is when she is on a game day as well. So yeah, I would probably say
that's
her.
Who you want to travel with.
Yeah, I'm very unorganised. Lose my passport, and yeah, I left my passport in the hotel in Paris when we played Paris FC. We arrived at the game, and I was like, guys, I've actually not got my passport, because we were flying straight back after the game. I was like, who do I tell? I can't tell the gaffer this. I can't tell her. I don't even think she knows this, but I had to just tell the operations team. I was like, guys, I've left my passport in the hotel. Somebody's going to have to go back for it. I need that. So lucky enough, the chef was still there and he was coming to the game. Oh, if that wasn't the case, I don't know what I would have done. They would have had to have went and got it for me, but I'd have been in big trouble.
Somebody would have gone.
Big trouble.
I love that. There's always, in the friendship group, there's always one that will leave their passport and you're having to go, oh my God, where is it? And everyone's scrambling and looking. So good to know that that's you, Erin. You're that person in the group. How important is the Champions League to you guys this year, especially with it being Emma's last season? I think it's no secret that everybody at the club wants the Champions League. It's the only one that I'm missing, that I think a lot of other people are missing. It's the biggest trophy in club football that you can possibly win, so it's not an easy thing to do. Of course, I would love to get there. I would love for Emma to leave on such a high, but as I've said so many times, like, Emma's legacy won't be defined on the last couple of months of her Chelsea tenure. Like, that's fair to say. Like, the amount of trophies she's won has been unthinkable, to be honest with you. But Emma wants the Champions League as well. Like, she loves that competition. She thrives under that competition, even in training. She's so on it and switched on. Like, it matters to her and it matters to everyone in the dressing room. So hopefully whoever we play next in the semi-final, we just give a good account of ourselves. Well, we're recording this on Thursday morning, so Barcelona are 2-1 up in their quarterfinal against Norwegian side Brann. If you were to face Barca, how much would you be relishing that tie?
Yeah, it's exciting. It's two big giants going against each other. It's fun. They have some unbelievable players. The national team are doing really well as well. So they're in a bit of a golden era, and it's up to us to give a good account of ourselves and stop that. I think we've done really well the second leg we played them at the new camp, and I think it's just taking a little bit of that, and I think we are more experienced, we are wiser. I think we do have greater squad depth now than we did last season, even though we've got a couple missing. I do think we've got a better overall squad depth, and I think we're ready to face whatever challenge comes at us.
Well, I mean, you've got that big tie, but also let's move on to the Conti Cup Final against Arsenal this weekend. This weekend, huge game. I mean, the last time you played, you beat them, you did really well. How much are you guys? Talk me through how you guys have been preparing for this one. Because I guess you don't want complacency to set in after the last win.
Honestly, we've not prepared at all, because it's literally just been game after game after game, and it's been Champions League's been the next thing, Like, we've not been thinking about anything, and as you say, it's Thursday morning, we'll now start approaching the Continental Cup Final, because you can't look too far ahead. That's when games sort of pass you by. So I think full focus will be at Arsenal over the next 3 days, and getting the right recovery first and foremost, the right preparation, the right tactical knowledge, because they're going to come out at us. They know that they were disappointed with the game that they played at Stamford Bridge. They were sort of beaten in most areas, and I know what that feels like when we were beaten comfortably at the Emirates, and we came back and we wanted to prove a point at Stamford Bridge. So they'll be wanting to prove a point, and we again have to be ready.
I have to touch on that game because it was a few weeks ago now, but a 3-1 win at Stamford Bridge. I haven't seen you since then. Could you give me a little word on how amazing the crowd were on that day? Because 32,000 of them. That was the best Chelsea crowd I've ever played in front of, and I cannot underestimate and understate the difference that made for us on the pitch. The fans cheering, how loud it was. Like, we made it an atmosphere that Arsenal didn't want to come into, and I think that's so important, to make your home ground an absolute fortress. And they were cheering for every tackle, every block that we made, every corner that we got, every throw in, and that is the difference. And I think especially when you've got so many games in quick succession and you're carrying a little bit of fatigue into games, they make that go away, and it's important they know that, and we need them. Like, we really do need them being super loud, and making sure their voices are heard, because they really do give us that little push when we need it. I mean, you touched on them wanting revenge after last time. What tactical challenges do you think Arsenal pose when they're at their best? I'm glad I'm no Emma Hayes this week, to be honest. I'm glad I'm just doing the game plan of what Emma tells me, because I'm sure she'll be to and fro about what they're actually going to do. They've got really, really good players as well. They could probably do a number of different things. We won't be underestimating them at all, because they are where they are for a reason. And I really don't know. I think they are capable of doing so many different things. They've done a 3-back against us. They've done a 2-back. They've put 2 10s before. They've put 1-6. They've put double 6s before. So I genuinely don't know. And I think the beauty of this team is that we are able to adapt in the game. And you can never prepare completely for something, because you never know what the other team's going to do. But as long as you have, plan A, B and C ready at your disposal, then I think that's how you feel best prepared. And hopefully there's no Sockgate this time, but can we expect a bit of drama? Hopefully there is. Well, it worked for you guys. Exactly. As long as the drama is that Chelsea are winning and lifting the title at the end of the game, that's all I'm caring about. No drama game and we win, I'm absolutely happy. Right, so before we go, we've got some exciting news for the viewers, albeit it's about admin. The podcast now has an email address, so fans and listeners can send their questions in for you guys. Just email wearechelsea@chelseafc.com. And we got a question from Liv. How does it feel to lead Chelsea out in the Champions League?
Even just, I'm smiling a lot. I don't know if you can see me, but it makes me super excited. Like, again, never did I think a young girl from Ayrshire was going to be able to do that. But I've been working hard behind the scenes for a number of years being at this club. I've learned off a lot of different captains, so I'd like to say that I'm maybe a blend of everything now. But yeah, it's a special feeling leading Chelsea into European nights. It's just different under the lights at Stamford Bridge. It just feels different. There's a different aura around it.
Oh, I love it. I mean, it's difficult as a fan to understand what it's like. It's such a unique experience for players, but we imagine it would be phenomenal. Now, a question from Cuthbert's fave. I guess that's at Cuthbert's fave. Where do you store all of your Player of the Match awards?
I actually have a little space in my house, but I'm starting to stack on top now. I don't have a very big house.
Room, guys.
For the record, I don't have a very big house, so maybe that's why. That's the problem, rather than I'm winning too many. But yeah, I think maybe I would, like, in the summer, I might give a couple up to my mum and dad in Scotland, and they can keep some up there.
Oh, I'm sure they'd have pride of place in the guest bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, Erin, look, I know you've got a meeting straight afterwards. Thank you so much for speaking to us, and best of luck on Sunday. We can't wait to see you shine again.
Yeah, I can't wait. Thank you very much for having me again.
Thank you for listening to We Are Chelsea. During the course of this series, we'll be speaking in depth to more of Chelsea's top players, and we'll also be bringing you all the post-match reaction to the biggest matches with the players themselves. So remember to subscribe, give us a review, and send in your questions to wearechelsea@chelseafc.com. See you next time.